welcome to our home here in Brittany in northwest France. My name is Jane, my husband Michael's behind the camera, and if you're here for the first time, we are a thrifty, frugal, money-saving couple. We are early retirees and we live off our pensions. We're all about saving money here, and we're all about saving you money in the kitchen too. So let's take a look at what we've cooked for you this week. So we put out recipes every single Friday, and if you like money-saving recipes, simple, homely, nice, tasty food that doesn't cost a lot, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Now, we are not vegetarians, and once upon a time we used to always have meatless Mondays. But the cost of meat these days is turning out to be meatless most days. So within our week, we always have 3 or 4 meals a week that have no meat in them at all. So this week, we made gorgeous, crispy falafels, and I'll show you how I made those. And another thing we made here, and this is yummy to the point of unctuous, it's just meltingly gorgeous, and it's a Leek Cheddar and potato tart. I defy anyone not to fall in love with it and make it an absolute favourite on their menu. So let's take a look at how we made them. Here are my ingredients for making my falafels. I took a mug full of chickpeas. I put them in my instant pot. I cooked them with 2.5 mugfuls of water and a sprinkle of salt on high, on pressure cook for 20 minutes. I then will, so I don't know how much that is, maybe a tin and a half, maybe a tin and a half. I've got 3 quite small onions here, you can see they're not very big. I've got about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. I'll use 2 teaspoons of coriander, 2 teaspoons of cumin, half a teaspoon of salt, and to bind it all, that one there is quite large, it's just 1 duck egg. You can use the aquafaba from the tin if you wish as a bind for that, but these have been sitting in this jug for 24 hours now, so I'm going to rinse them off. I'm not going to use the aquafaba in there, and I'm going to use an egg instead. So that's my ingredients. When I've been asked questions about cooking on my wood burning stove, people say things like, how do you control the heat? How do you regulate the heat? Well, the answer to that is with great difficulty. So I want to get the heat up on my hob. I have just put in 2 good logs in, and I went and picked out some oak logs because they burn way hotter. So now when you put the logs in, it drops the temperature, and you have to wait for it to get back up to temperature again. And you can see I've got 2 pots on the stove. One is my big frying pan, and I'm heating the oil in it. And at the back are my cooked chickpeas, and I'm going to get them up to a boil or simmer, because they will be easier to mash when they are hot. I'm now going to add my spices. Got a heaped teaspoon and a bit of coriander, heaped teaspoon and a bit of each cumin and coriander, and I'm going to add all the parsley I have. I don't have much. It's just about stopped growing now. I'm then going to add a small amount of pepper. I'm then going to add my chickpeas to this and combine it all. I'll then process it in the food processor, only very roughly. I do not want it to be smooth. I'm now shaping them. Hopefully that's in shot and you can see it. And I'm placing them on a baking tray. I'm going to try baking some and frying some to see which tastes best. Okay, when I'm going to bake some of them, I have some spray oil. You'll see I bought this in Sainsbury's when I was in the UK. I have not seen spray oil in France. Anyone watching in France, if you see spray oil, please let me know which store you saw it in. Thank you. So here are the falafels that I made earlier today. They are great. You can make them earlier and then just pop them on a baking tray with some greaseproof paper, spray them or just drizzle them with a little oil and reheat them at 200 degrees for about 15 minutes in a hot oven. Here we go. I'm going to put them with salad. There we are, a mixture of baked falafels with a tahini dressing, with yogurt and mint on the side, some lettuce leaves, cucumber and tomatoes. Again, another really cheap, very simple, light lunch or supper. Great. If you wanted to add to this, you maybe could add a rice salad, maybe some coleslaw with this too, but there is the finished results. Falafels, tahini dressing, salad with yogurt and mint. Let's take a look at how I make pastry. The same pastry for anything, any pies, any savoury pie basically. I have got 300 grams of plain white flour. Any flour will be fine. I have added 5 grams of salt. I'm going to add that to my food processor. The next essential ingredient when making pastry is fat. You can use butter, you can use lard, you can use, as I have done here, a cooking margarine specifically made for baking. There's plenty of them out there. The one that I buy it's a French one, and it is free of palm oil. And I'm going to add that to the food processor, and then I will switch it on. Next of all, I will add some very cold water. I should have added the butter, the fat, the margarine, whatever you use. It needs to be cold, and it needs to be hard, and it needs to be cut into cubes before you add it. Okay, I measured that. I added about 150 millilitres of water to that. I then pulsed it, or just switched it on until it formed a big lump. And there it is, pastry. A very important thing to do with pastry before you use it is to chill it. So this is going to go into the fridge for 30 minutes. Let's go through the ingredients for my leek potato and cheddar tart. I have one large leek that I've sliced and washed carefully. I have 4 medium potatoes that I've washed and roughly chopped. I have a bunch of parsley. I have 4 cloves of garlic, would be normal, but there are 6 in there because they are not very big. I have 1 medium onion sliced. I have 200 grams of cheddar. You could get away with less if you used an extra mature. I have 1 tablespoon of corn flour, 1 tablespoon of butter, and 250 millilitres, which is 1 cup of milk. I will make a white sauce first. I'm now going to part cook my potatoes. I want them to be only just cooked. I don't want them to be too soft. And I've got about half a teaspoon of salt. I'll bring them to the boil and then simmer them very gently with the lid on for just a few minutes. Now the potatoes are cooking away, and I am going to keep a close watch on them. As I said, I do not want them to be soft. I'm heating some oil in a pan because I'm going to saute the leeks, the onions, and as they start to soften down, then I will add the garlic and the parsley finally. Now I have a large pastry case here. This leek, cheddar cheese and potato tart would easily serve 6 with a good side salad. You can see it's 2 of my hands. You can see how big it is. You can see as well where I have rolled the pastry. I've let it hang over the sides. I am not going to trim it until all the filling is in it, and the filling will mound up. Also, I have not blind baked this because this is a metal baking tray. So there you are. here is the finished tart. I baked it at 180 Faran, that's 350 Fahrenheit, and I had it in there for about 20 minutes, and then I turned the oven down slightly. So I left it in there all in the end for just about 30 minutes, but please do check this when you're cooking it. The pastry can cook, and don't forget all the filling was pretty much cooked before I put it in there. It will serve 6 or for very, very extraordinarily hungry people, but this will easily feed 6 people. So there you were, there we are, there it was. Some money-saving recipes for you. If you're into money-saving recipes, simple, wholesome food, go on, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss this. And make sure you hit the little bell as well so you get the notifications of all of our new videos. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. The channel is really growing, all to the fact that you are commenting and liking. So leave me a comment. Now, I had a very cheesy recipe there. What's your favourite recipe with cheese in it? I had some gorgeous, nutty, yummy falafels there. Have you eaten falafels? Do you make falafels? Or what do you make with chickpeas? Just leaves me to say thank you to everybody who watches, everybody who comments, and everybody gives it a like. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.